Hey guys, what's going on? TripletheTDog here, and welcome to Talk Time number 3. I don't know how we even got to the third. I didn't think I was gonna go past one. I didn't even think I was gonna do one. But we got some things to talk about, a few questions to answer, opinions. You know, all the fun stuff. It's been eventful so far of May. I think a little bit early on in May. I think a lot of stuff's been going on. I don't know if it was the end of April into May, um, but it is the midweek. By the time this should be going up, it will be May 18th. This is being recorded on May 16th. I actually did record Talk Time number 3 like a week ago to get ready for this week, but I didn't like the way it was done. I was also really tired, and it was a lot of muttering, and I was like, it's just not good. So I thought that I'll write things down this time. I'll actually type stuff down in a notepad of what I want to talk about, what I want, and I actually typed out all the questions that I was asked, so I can actually know it. And I may have worded some of these bad now, looking them over. But again, if you don't know what talk time is because you didn't feel like watching one or two, it's usually at least 50 minutes. Sometimes it might be short, they might go longer, of me just ranting on about my thoughts, my opinions, and how I look at them, like my perspective. Because I'm a very, like, variety based, I'm very open to a lot of things. I'm not closed off to one genre. I'm just about everything. I always try to look at the positives of stuff as well as the negatives. So with that said, I don't really go into looking at the facts. This is all just opinion based, so I may get things wrong. I may sound like a complete idiot, and I may just overall just be stupid. And it just tends to happen. People are dumb sometimes. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm never ever once praised myself for being smart unless it was in a joking matter or because I was too stupid to figure something out and had to look it up and I'm like, "Yay, I'm smart." Um so, um fast early on in May, we had the Overwatch beta. I did a video. I streamed it a few times. Um this will a lot of the stuff that's multiplayer based, like Overwatch and things like that I'll talk about, ties into a question that I will answer at the towards the end, like I usually do. Overwatch beta was fun. It was a fun game. I like the concept. The style of it is pretty and bright, colorful, and it's very intense at times. And every hero having some sort of counter to him, like you can destroy Bastion with Genji if you use the bullet deflect and blah blah blah. Problem is, I don't like multiplayer games, solely multiplayer games like PvP and stuff like that. And I know that's a lot of games are going that way. I heard somewhere that like single player games are very expensive to make, and as well as trying to be different is kind of hard too. I could assume, but it's fun. But I don't really like multiplayer games too much. But in the end, it was a fun game. It was a fun thing. I think it's like $40 to buy it or something like that, unless you get like the special whatever edition with like skins and things like that. It seems fun. I just don't think it's something I might get unless because I'm on a budget. I'm a very strict on what I can buy and what I get, because money isn't something that I have a lot of sometimes. Because I live on a budget when I eat stuff. I live on like I try to keep things so we're not you know suddenly broke. Because some days I even like there's been times where I've had to cut internet for like a week or two until next until we have money to pay it. So you gotta cut corners sometimes. So it's been money is not something that's like a lot of here where I am, where I live. But so it doesn't look like it's something I'll get unless either a friend just randomly is like, "Hey, I want you to play it," and they give it to me. And even then, I might not even. I really wouldn't want someone to give it to me, and so on and so forth. It's a fun game if you're into that stuff. I think it's fun, and that's a lot coming from me because I'm very, especially with PvP. I always say that is multiplayer because I don't want to say competitive because it might not be that competitive to some people. Because competitive can mean like Quake and shit like that, or CS:GO. So I don't really like to use the term competitive. I just say PvP because it's like player versus player stuff. I'm more of a PvE. I like to go against AIs and co-op and shit like that. So, but I'm very picky with them. If it doesn't keep my attention or I don't find it fun, then I'm not gonna shit on it because I have no right to shit on a game that isn't my style. If it's not my style, but other people find it fun, I have no reason to crap on it. It's just there's a line between trying to give an opinion and just trashing a game just because it's not my style. Like I could just sit there and say Overwatch is garbage. And it's like, well, why is it garbage? It's just trash. It's a PvP shooter. It's a first-person shooter. It's this. It's like this. I compare it to this game, compare it to that game, and it gets nowhere where I could just be like, I don't like it because I'm not good at multiplayer games. I will admit I'm not good at them. I suck at them. Even if I seem like I'm doing good, I will never think I'm doing good. I may be very humble, but I don't have an ego for online games where I think I'm like the best. I will jokingly say it, but it's only because I actually did something good for once in a game where I'm like, I'm the best, I did it, greatest player of all time. It's always sarcastic. So, never serious about that. Dark Souls, moving on. Dark Souls 3. I uploaded a video, I beat it. I'm on New Game Plus 2 now. Since then, I streamed a lot of it, had a lot of fun with it. I am happy that, to me at least, it wasn't bad. A lot of people may say otherwise, and a lot of people may say it's one of the best ones since 1, because I know a lot of people didn't like 2, even though I actually liked 2. Maybe because it was a bit easier, because it like Dark Souls 1 I got into very late when 2 was coming out. So I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and 2 was a very good kind of like, okay, this is helping me because it's kind of easier to ease me into what Dark Souls really is, which was like sitting on rusted nails and getting one stuck in your asshole and having a hard time getting it out. Because that's what Dark Souls felt like to me, or walking on hot coal and everything else. Dark Souls 3, to me, I was worried when it was announced, because when games are made in series 1, 2, 3, and like 1 and 2 were good or decent games or great games, I'm always afraid that the next game is going to be a flop. It's going to fail. It's just not going to be up to par that we hoped so. But they kept it pretty decent. It was pretty good. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not one to give number ratings, but if you liked 1 and didn't mind 2, then you would of course love 3. Getting into the game, if you're not into, I don't, and a lot of people will be like, well, it's not very story intensive stuff. It's like, I don't always need a story game if the gameplay is very good. And Dark Souls, even though it might have some clunkiness, input delay, and stuff like that on my end, and it could be on other people's end, in the end, I still had a lot of fun, and the boss fights are always heart pounding. Like, okay, if it's your first time, and you're not like, you're not that cocky asshole. It's like, it's easy. Like, I'm not saying it's that hard. It's just very challenging at first when until you figure it out. Once you figure it out, of course it's easy. Once you figure something out, it's easy. And that's what I find funny is when people go into streams or something, and it's like, how have you not beaten this guy yet? He's so fucking easy. It's like, well, I'm sorry. I just started playing, and I just met this dude, so I'm still learning his tactics. Like, everything's easy when you look back at it. Hell, even looking back at it, sometimes it's never that easy. Sometimes it's still a challenge. I never said like Dark Souls is like the most impossible game. It's hard, it's challenging, and it's fun because I do try to play normal. I usually play normal difficulty, but I've been lately playing hard because the challenge is actually it like makes you realize, man, having a challenge in a game can be fun. It can be annoying, but it can still be fun. You just have to. It's like a give or take. Do you want to? It just depends on the game, I guess. I don't know. Depends on the game's mechanics too. If like a shooting game is very generic and or it's not doesn't feel polished, there's no reason to up the difficulty if the gameplay is giving you difficulty as it is. But that's my opinion. I had a lot of fun with Dark Souls 3. I definitely recommend it to people who are Souls fans, and maybe you enjoyed one, didn't play two. Either way, I recommend it if you're into those types of games and or just want to get, either shit on and angry and or you're not an angry person and don't mind getting your shit rocked. It's pretty fun. I still had fun with it. So there's that. I had a lot of fun times with it. Moving on, there was the announcement sometime, I don't remember when. I don't have these things dated. I probably should, but I'm not that organized. Come on now. The 1080 and the 1070 graphics cards, NVIDIA announced. Apparently, I didn't look too deeply into this. I just heard from a lot of people, more powerful than the Titan, and it's actually cheaper. Um, again, I'm very, very budget. It took me forever to even get my gaming computer, and it's not even that strong. Like my processor's lacking, and it's getting older. I have the 970, and it's not bad. Of course, I would take a 980 and or what these are now, the 1080 or 1070. But right now, my main focus is having a better processor because I got I have an i5, and that's running out of time because games are getting harder and harder to run with that, and because we're going higher and higher up the i7 list. So it's cool because it's easier to make and manufacture. It's cheaper. So I think that's pretty cool and crazy that it's cheaper than a Titan. After the Titan was like, oh my god, this amazing graphics card. I don't know if I ever came into money, maybe I'd upgrade, but I have no reason unless I really don't like my 970. But I may upgrade. Like first off, my main focus is processor, but and probably more RAM. I'd want to get more because I think I only got like 8. I want to get a little bit more because I do a lot of things, man. I do a lot of things, a lot of porn. No, I do a lot of things that involves taking up a lot of RAM. Um, but I definitely processor would be my top thing that I want to upgrade. I want to upgrade it to because I stream and do stuff, and an i7 multitasking i5 is not really the greatest. Um, Even then, it would just be better to have two PCs, but I'm not that fancy to have that. But yeah, I would if the processor thing was taken care of and I had extra money somehow or some way, win the fucking lottery. I don't fucking know. Um, I'm not that greedy though. Like even if I wanted, like of course after tax and stuff like that, I'd end up like donating or something. Like I don't ever feel like I deserve that much. I really don't. Um, like I barely want to get stuff for myself because I feel like other people deserve it. Um, but I would get a better graphics card at times because there are times where it feels like I can't run. I'm not even a graphics like I don't even care. Like even when I got the 970, I wasn't running things on high or ultra, and even some games struggle with that because the usage goes up to 80 to 90%, and I don't want to burn out the damn thing because I'm very cautious with that. But I do play like games on medium, sometimes high, depending on how old the game is. Because if it's brand new, of course, I play on like medium, and it still looks good. I mean, I'm not too picky with graphics. Like high to ultra settings usually just means more pixels and more like things looking a little bit fancy. As long as you got some anti-aliasing and textures are high and everything else like medium or something, it still looks good. Like some games though are notable, but most games now are not too bad. It almost barely changes. But that's me. I think a lot of people are excited, but I don't feel like you need to jump the gun just yet to get this new graphics card. Because driver updates, man, I hear nothing but bad things with the new driver updates because they're very unstable or there's a problem. I would wait until some driver updates that are stable for them, of course. And if you already got like a 980 Ti or a 980 or a Titan, I mean, you don't really need to. Especially if you got a Titan, you spent the money on it. I'd just use it. I'd wait till you actually burnt out on it. 'Cause no matter when you buy the new thing, there's already a new one in the making somewhere. So you already still got old models. You'll never get the newest thing the way the technology is. Um, Another game. Very a lot of people hate, people love. I really don't care about the hate. And you know, developers could take as much time as they want with how long they make it, as long as they're actually updating and doing stuff instead of just giving up on it. Daisy went to 6.0 in the unstable branch. Apparently got a new renderer, so that's cool. Actually can have more than 30, they're like 10 to 20 frames. I did do a few DayZ videos, some stupid, some actually serious highlights. Um, I'm not a big DayZ fan. I'm not like crazy into DayZ. I'm not playing it 24/7. I know the game's a mess. I know people shit on the team, the dev team. You know, I give them credit for taking the shit, and still being able to move on. Some people who are just impatient. I know a lot of people just want to see the game be completed because it's a good concept. Just it's just because of how long it's taken. It gets mocked. It gets shit on. It's like this game's never gonna be done. And even if it never does, I mean, I don't know. I'm not one to hate. I hate like it's like people who just hate care about the game, but I try to give them credit. I have no room to talk. I've never made a game. I've looked at trying to make like I've looked at like the like an Unreal Engine before, like when in the process. I don't know what the fuck you even do with half that shit. Like you get like, but like they started off with a shitty engine of the Arma engine. Like I think it was like Arma 2 or 3. I think 2. It might have been because it was an Arma 2 mod. But they were going off such a bad mod to build off of, so I can understand things being a bit tough. Not an easy mod or an easy engine probably to fuck around with or tweak because it was like an army military shooter simulation trying to become a zombie looting survival apocalypse game. But I'm not picky. I'm not an asshole. Um, so with that said, just hopefully they keep moving on, keep doing good with that, no matter the shit that they get. I have no room to talk because I've never made a game in my life. I probably wouldn't even get as far as they did if I was working on a game. If because I'm not one. I can take hate and shit very well, like people hating me because never said I was a likable guy. I'm not that cocky about myself. Jesus, like I said, I don't have an ego. I'm almost down myself anytime I can, and it's not because I have a low self-esteem. It's just that I don't think highly of myself because I don't want to come off as that guy who thinks he's the best at everything because I'm not. I'm just some average, below average dude just playing video games and talking into a microphone right now. Like what special am I? So um but even with all that hate and stuff, I don't know like with the games, I have no right to just talk because I couldn't make a game. I wouldn't even make it to six. I feel like I get too frustrated at trying to make a game to get that far. I'm not patient with that stuff. Like I wouldn't be. But with that said, game with I don't know how to transition these things. I'm pretty bad at this. Um, like I said, if you're new to this whole talk time stuff, this is usually just me solo. Every once in a while, maybe if I actually do more, because I don't think I will do another after 1 to 2. Then now we're on to 3. Maybe I'll have a guest like John or somebody if they actually have the confidence to want to sit and talk about a game or something or talk about shit. It's just hard because John doesn't really look into too many games. Um, so it's like I could talk about stuff, but he wouldn't really have a whole lot to contribute. He could probably contribute on the programming side of stuff. He's been to college through all the tech side of stuff. Knows all the stuff with like C++ and all that shit. So he knows about game making and coding and how it's not easy. At least if you're doing it from scratch, an engine kind of is like head start, but you still got to do a lot with it. But games I'm looking forward to. I don't really have a whole lot. I'm pretty upset because I don't have money, but I recently beat Final Fantasy X. Well, not. I keep saying recently lately, but it wasn't recent. It feels just like not long ago, but it was actually like 3 months maybe ago, 3 or 4 months. I beat Final Fantasy X for the first time, and I lost the game for the PlayStation 2 a long time ago and just reacquired it to stream. Um, and then and I knew there was a remaster, but I wanted the place. I could only do the PlayStation 2. But then they put the remastered out on PC and Final Fantasy X, 10.2. I think I remember playing 10.2. I think I actually own it, but I didn't really enjoy it too much. Maybe if I actually played it again, more of a adult, I would get into it a little more. But I wanted to. Now that it's out, it's like, damn, I wish I could play it and stream it again. But that's cool. But the games, I haven't really had too many games that I'm like crazy, like, oh my god, I can't wait for. I'm pretty excited for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Um, That game, I loved Human Revolution or whatever. I didn't really care for the other games before, like the older Deus Ex game. I think I played a little bit of just regular whatever it was. I think it was just called Deus Ex. But I really liked Human Rev. My only gripe with it was not a lot of non-lethal weapons, unless I missed a lot. I felt like it was more fun to do lethal kills and stuff. Though I love non-lethal takedown. I love punching some dude in the face and knocking him out and stuff. Like the takedowns just felt really meaty to me and I like satisfying and I liked it. Um, is that so I really I don't really hype myself up for games too much, but I'm really excited and I really hope Deus Ex Mankind is good. But if it doesn't, then I really don't know what game I'm really that out there for. Um, so until then, I really don't know what game I would be all too interested in. Really, it just hasn't been like Dark Souls was like the first one that I was really excited for, but I've been excited when they announced Deus Ex Mankind Divided because then after they announced it, I think I did it like a stream playthrough of Deus Ex Human Rev, which I may do another at some point, if not when maybe when we're closer to the game's release. Might end up doing another stream of it, just playing through again because the game's fun. I have a lot of fun with it, even if I suck with it. Um, Battleborn released. I don't know when the release dates. I just know they did before this. Like this is out. Like before I recorded this. I think when I recorded it the first time, certain things were not out, and I didn't have any idea to talk about because again, I didn't write things down. Battleborn. I don't have much to say with the game. It's very beautiful, made by Gearbox. People did like the Borderlands stuff. It's got some humor to it. I've seen. I only played it in a closed testing back before when you couldn't say shit about it before its release. I wasn't able to say anything until the game's released. Then you can say whatever you want because the game's out. Who cares? I played multiplayer and I played one section of the story that I don't know if it was. I think it was just like a makeshift demo of the story. I don't think it was actually like a full implement of the story. Like they may have tweaked it and did some things. It was fun. A lot of people compare that to Overwatch and stuff like that. It's just because they're both online shooters. One's got a story, but they almost look the same in the sense of there's heroes or skills, things like that. So of course they're gonna get compared. It's like if you put two MOBAs that just get released and everyone's like, well, they're the same game. So it happens. I don't really have much to say though because I never played. I never got to play Battleborn too much. I only did that one little bit of testing. I had fun. It was pretty cool, but other than that, I don't own the game like Overwatch. Again, multiplayer. I mean, the Battleborn's got a single player, but I don't think it's something I would sit through and play unless I had like friends. Like other than that, it's not like a crazy intensive game that I want to dive right into right away at full price. Um, Ratchet and Clank for the PS4. I think this was like a remake slash like reimagining of the first game. It was kind of like a re-idea of the first. I don't really know what the fuck it was. I never played Ratchet and Clank. People are gonna hate me for that. I actually played. I may have played like a little bit at my little cousin's a long time ago, back when like before 360 and stuff. For the PlayStation 2. I played Jack and Dexter, but I never got past the first one. I never got had the money because like again like my entire life has been budget living like even with parents and stuff so I never went out of my way to try to get Jack 2 and or Jack and Dexter 2 and Jack 3 or whatever their names are if they were just Jack but I know that they took that crazy more adult not adult but like more grown up approach and that was pretty cool games I missed out on um, speaking of games I missed out on for PlayStation, PlayStation 4, Uncharted 4 came out. I've heard nothing but how beautiful the game is, an Easter egg involving Crash Bandicoot or something like that. Pretty fucking awesome. Sorry if that was a spoiler or something to you. It's, I guess, an Easter egg in the game. Um, but like that's the only thing I've heard of the game. I just heard it's very beautiful looking and it's amazing. I guess the end of the series. I've never played the Uncharted series. I may have played like I think I played a little bit of Uncharted at like a Walmart demo place. Like when you go in and they have like the booth set for PlayStation 3 and there's the controller. I may have played one and I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was just shooting shit and I didn't know what the game was at all because somebody already selected it and I think I walked up and was just playing it. I didn't own a PlayStation 3 for a while, and I think I bought a PS3 right around the time 4 was announced, and the price went down for 3 just because I wanted to play MLB The Show with my dad because we liked those games and we played a lot of them on PS2. So there was that. So I never got to play them. So maybe I want to one day stream through the Uncharted series. The Here's my problem: it's a PS4 exclusive, and I'm not one of those guys who are like, well, why can't it come to PC? It'll look better. There are some damn good looking console games that wouldn't change much on PC, even with a 60 frames. It's like it's not even that crazy of a deal. But I don't have a capture card. Again, the money, I don't have it, and it's not like, oh, please send me money, send me. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't have it. I don't have the money. So it's if it's ever gonna happen, it'd be like way out in the future, where like Uncharted be forgotten or something. I don't fucking know. I doubt it will be forgotten. It's made by Naughty Dog, and if I don't think from what I heard, I don't think they're gonna make another one. And I think a lot of people said they hope they don't make another one just because it would ruin the ending. Kind of like some people didn't want another Last of Us because the way that ended. And that's a game I did play, mind you. I did go to a friend's to play that game because I heard nothing like how crazy it was. I can't go to a friend's house to play the Uncharted games though, because well, I don't want to sit there at the house all day, and I don't think any of them have Uncharted. So there's that. Um, I was looking through Steam the other day, and I saw that there's a game. Let me see if it's still there and make sure I got the name correct here. I don't know when this. I want to see when this comes out. If I can spell it fucking correctly. It's like $40, and it comes out the 24th. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan. Oh my god! I thought it was funny because it's online, apparently online co-op. And I was like, John, we have to play this. We could be turtles. We could be the Ninja Turtles. But no, I thought it was funny. I don't know if I'd actually get it, but I think it'd be funny. Just to have a co-op Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game to play with John. I think it'd be pretty funny to do. But for like $40, I don't know. I would hope if it's a good game, then yeah. But maybe in the future. But if it's not, then of course I just thought it was funny. Um, there was announcements about Mafia 3. Again, another game I've never series I didn't play was the Mafia series. I was looking into adding it to my wish list, 2 and 3, and I don't think the first one's even on Steam anymore or at all. Um, but 2 doesn't have a buy button at the time I did it. I don't know if it still doesn't. Does it have a buy button yet? Or did they like just stop wanting you to buy this game? No, there's still no buy button. There's not even a price on it. Um, it's got positive reviews and everything, but there's no buy button suddenly. I don't know. It's weird. Because I was gonna maybe one day, because I wanted to get. I heard good things. I heard mixed things. People liked it. Some people didn't care for it. Some people say it's underrated. Some people say, I don't know. I want to play it, but I don't know if I'd get into Mafia 3 without playing the other ones before. I like kind of building up to it. I don't want to play the new one, then go backwards one day, because if something was implemented in the new ones that you try to go backwards to, it's the worst. It's the worst thing to play a new game and then go back to the older one. I think, like, if, let's say, for the people who's played Uncharted, if you played 4 and then try to go back to 3 or back to 1, it's probably terrible. Like, especially graphics wise, but I'm just saying gameplay mechanics wise might be a bit rough, or at least like gunplay wise. Doom came out. I enjoyed Doom 1 and 2, the old school Dooms. Apparently some people don't like Doom because it's not like Doom 3, which was creepy and horrifying. I never beat Doom 3. I felt like it dragged on forever. I didn't hate it. I was playing it, and then I kept taking these long breaks, so it made the game just feel like I was dragging it on forever, and I kept dying so much because I suck. And I was trying to rush at some points. I was like, "Come on, let's just move it on." But some people didn't like this one. From I watched a bit, and I played the beta. I played an open beta of it online. The multiplayer is very generic, nothing fancy. Again, not a big multiplayer guy, so doesn't really concern me. I never really cared Doom to be a big story-based game. I just thought it'd be fun to play the single player. I've heard nothing but to a lot of people, and I'm yawning because I'm reading. Every time I read, I yawn. Doom is very just gory, brutal, just fun. Even if it's slightly repetitive, it's just silly fun and like just killing. Killing fun. And you know what? I don't mind that. That's like you don't feel like you don't really want to think about stuff too much. You just want to sit there and blow heads off and slam them into the ground, rip them apart, just beat the shit out of everything. I mean, I guess you could play God of War in a sense too, but God of War is also kind of like, little not puzzly, but you got to navigate a lot. I mean, Doom's the same way. You have to run around and figure out what button to hit, but there is a marker that tells you too. I know. God of War is a series I also have not played. Um, I think I own it for PlayStation 2. I don't own the remakes though, so I do have I think one. I don't know if I have two for the PlayStation 2. Uh, but there was that. I've seen people talk about VR and do VR things. I think it's cool that we're getting into virtual reality. Way too pricey for my blood, but understandable for the technology that goes into it. Just I couldn't play it. I couldn't imagine from just watching the recordings. It looks silly. I just couldn't imagine actually doing it, like being in VR stuff, doing that stuff. It's crazy how far we've come with technology, and and so on and so forth. There was also, I guess, and I don't know if this has been confirmed or not. Again, I haven't really looked into it. I guess people have been talking about the new Wii console or whatever, some Nintendo console that they're making. People don't like Nintendo. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, but I do enjoy some of their games that they produce. Whether it's Zelda, even if I complain about it, and even if give me about 40 different copyright claims on their videos for visual content and music, and it's not my fault on Twilight Princess, and that is why I don't upload the Twilight Princess stuff anymore, because it's just spamming my email box. Um, and I enjoyed other games, Animal Crossing. I just recently started streaming, and people have been having fun watching me be silly with that. Um, I, I I know that people don't like the fact that like they're really against some YouTube videos or they try to share revenue and things like that. They're very weird about it. I don't think they're really full on ready to embrace the whole online streaming thing too as much. But I will give Nintendo props for trying to be different. I mean, like I get Xbox has the name box in it and stuff like that, so they're kind of going with like a square thing, and PlayStation kind of just looks like a slanted box. But like they tried something, people say they've gone downhill, but I mean, when you had Nintendo like back in its time with like the NES and Super Nintendo and N64, there weren't a lot of like there was competition, but it wasn't good competition. There were a lot of people that preferred Nintendo over a lot of other things. When the PlayStation came out, it was a big thing, but people still really love Nintendo, and even to this day, people still love the Nintendo 64. People still love those old school, and it's not even just a nostalgic factor. Some people just enjoy the way the games were made then, because it was at a time where people were making games that they didn't have DLC, we didn't have expansions, things like that we do now. Like you can just easily patch the game. So games were actually being made to the fullest and being completed and then sent out. So it was back before people really started to get lazy with not lazy, but like trying to take shortcuts for certain games. So then they're like, oh well, there's a bug here, you got to patch it, got to do this or DLC. But I don't fault them for trying to be different and trying to do something. I mean, it was an interesting idea with the Wii, with the nunchuck and things like that, trying to get you involved. It was almost as close to VR as you can get without the headpiece for a while, like you're in the game kind of feeling. But then the Wii U was kind of an odd thing, but it was also trying to do something with like limiting it could work as that big thing was like, okay, you don't have to keep going to your inventory. It could have been used in games where your inventory didn't need to stop the game. You just do it right then and there on that little screen. It wasn't terrible idea. It's just the lack of games that come out with it like people are excited for a new console because that just means there's going to be another Mario Party, whether it's bad or not, and there's going to be another Smash game, good or not. Usually they end up just being just as good because there's not much you do besides adding like hundreds of new people. Um, but I don't hate them because of like they do some questionable things, but they're just trying to do different things. I always say, and I there's probably a reason why they don't, and or it's because they've been in this console race thing for a very long time, and they're not just gonna back out now. I would like Nintendo to just be a game company. Like, imagine just how much. I feel like they would make more money if they sent, but then at the same time they'd make more money off of consoles. No matter the sales, even if they're making less for how much they make. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not really good with all that stuff. But I always wanted them to make it where like everybody, even if it's just on consoles, because I only can play on PC, but even if it was on only consoles or just on PC and or for all, just to be able to play like Zelda on any system and or just Smash Brothers, Mario Party, Animal Crossing, all that. But and Pokemon and things like that. And it would be cool, but there's probably a business reason why they don't. But who knows? We always mock things, and Nintendo's always seemed like an underdog. But they've had some good hit games, and maybe if this new console might do it right, and maybe they could start making some games, take some ideas, and maybe do something with it. I don't know, but I'm like always I always root for the underdog, I guess. So that's why it's like I kind of want them to um come out and do something cool that blows people's minds, and maybe we'll be like, okay, Nintendo isn't that bad, but they're still questionable here and there. But I don't know. That's just me. That's how I feel with Nintendo when people ask me on them. Uh, you know, Again, I'm a game. I just like games. I don't care. I love all consoles. There shouldn't really need to be a war. You just play it where your friends are at, and or what's fun for you and the family. It's just about that, having fun, just enjoying the games, man. That's how I've always been. I'm very laid back about that stuff. Um, but some people don't know. Back before I think it was before the N64, that Sony and Nintendo worked together. Some people don't know that they were going to make a system together, and that never happened. Imagine what things would have been like if that happened. I wonder if it would have worked out or been a big failure. Because it was like a weird looking system. I can't remember what it was, if it was even actually true or not. But anyway, moving on. I want to say controversial, but I don't think that's the term I want. I don't know. I probably just mispronounced it too because I'm tired, as usual. I'm always tired. The Call of Duty trailer versus the BF1, the Battlefield 1 trailer. Now, I'm not too crazy about the Battlefield name. I've watched most of Battlefield 1, and I watched all of the Infinite Warfare. I'm just as tired as a lot of people probably seem to be with the future crazy, over the top, generic future warfare shit. But the sad thing is, no matter how much hate it goes into its YouTube video trailer, it's still gonna sell. Even if they didn't have the remastered Call of Duty 4 in it, it's still gonna sell. I hate to break it to people, but Call of Duty is only still making these shitty games to a lot of people because they still sell. Because people are still buying them. So, I don't care for it. Again, I don't really like PvP multiplayer. So I could give a shit. I don't care because it's going to be a generic, over the top, futuristic single player that's not going to be that crazy. It might be decent. It might be just complete shit. Who cares for me? I really don't. I may have been always in the favor more of Battlefield because I like the bigger map and I know that Hardline or whatever the fuck it wasn't even made by the same people that have made the other Battlefields, but I think weren't they the people that made Dead Space or something like that, or somebody, or at least some sort of team. I don't remember, but I don't. I always like Battlefield 1 because it's always been more modern and like And I mean, I get Modern Warfare and all that stuff, but I'm saying like more modern with like we still have tanks and shit like that in RPGs, but it's still kind of like a war, a battlefield, haha, um, thing. So I always like that because it's like Call of Duty. It's like okay, here's a tank that can transform into a mech, that can transform into Titanfall, to turn into to Transformers, to turn into fucking Optimus Prime into a truck again, to a fucking you like it's like what the fuck's happening to Battlefield? It's like here's a tank. It's just a tank. It shoots a cannon. I don't know what they are, like a big tank shell and a machine gun. There you go. I mean, now this one's going to the World War I era, so people were excited about these like horses, mounts, and other things like that, and apparently they're also doing melee weapons and see how that works out. Um, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Me, I like Battlefield a little bit more than Call of Duty, even if I suck at both. But I'm not tired or hate Call of Duty, but it's just funny. The people who hate, I feel like the people who hate the Infinite Warfare stuff are the people who, if they did a World War setting Call of Duty anyway, people say it's overplayed, it's overdone, why are we still doing this? So, I don't know. I actually like Call of Duty 1, 2, and I think I didn't mind 3. 4 was alright. I'm not like, oh my god, I didn't really care for the Modern Warfare games. I'll be honest with you, I didn't have fun with them. But that's just me. I like the World War settings a lot. I like the classic guns, bolt action rifles and all sorts of guns that are in the World War era. And whether it's 1, 2, any of them are fine. But that's just me. I don't really need a futuristic laser rifle. I don't need anything fucking fancy. I just want a bolt action rifle and a dude in a trench right in front of me. um, but I think that's all I got for topics and little discussions. Again, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, it's all opinion based. I don't look into it. I don't do any facts and stuff like that. I just, give what my opinion I feel and how I look at things. I may look at them wrong, but I try to keep an open mind on both things. Now we're going to do the Q&A. I typed up the questions that people have asked. I say I typed them because I didn't want to leave the thing open on my screen when I record that because I didn't want any to get distracted. I get distracted easily if I leave like a thing open. I'm like, ooh, what's going on there? But the first question is, what is your favorite card game or the card game you first started playing? For example, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, etc. My favorite card game, I'm not sure. I always liked Yu-Gi-Oh in its basic before how crazy it's gotten. Back when it was actually Yugi and everybody, it was just kind of a basic card game before they got all crazy with it. Um, Pokemon, I didn't get too into the Pokemon card game. I actually played the Pokemon video game, the card video game on the Game Boy. I played on the Game Boy Color. I had fun with that a lot more because I never got into playing card games as much because either people didn't follow the rules correctly, and even then, back when Yu-Gi-Oh, I never really got to play it by the rules very much. I think I maybe done like one or two actual ruled duels. Um, I actually played the first game I learned was because of a friend of my brother's was Magic the Gathering, and had fun with that. Me and John played Magic the Gathering like the video games for once in a while because they're fun. Um, so I don't know. My favorite, I really like Yu-Gi-Oh, but at the same time, as you've seen me play on GX Academy, if you've watched those old videos back in my shitty microphone and all my recordings, before I finally finished that finale, and for some reason the first episode is gig, it has a ton of views. Don't know why. Um, I like it. I'm just bad at it. And I don't really care for the crazy shit that they've added to it now with like XY things or some kind of weird transformations. I don't know where it's gone now. I don't really know. Even Pokemon's got now. I'm getting too old for it, man. I don't know about Magic the Gathering. I haven't kept up with any of that. Next question is: are you more of a story-based single-player game kind of guy or multiplayer PvP? Example: COD, Overwatch, Battleborn. Um, well, like I said, and the others, and that's why I saw refer to this question. I like story-based single players. And even if it's not story-based, even if it's just a single-player game with gameplay with a lot of gameplay elements and the story isn't that strong. Dark Souls is very lore-based. It's mainly on gameplay and you looking deep into it for story. Um, I like games like that and story-based and even like story interactive games that people seem to hate. Um, I don't. The only type of multiplayer I like is co-op, and I used to like MMOs. I think I said in the other one I used to play. I played World of Warcraft for a long time, and before that I played City of Heroes. Or I think I played the City of Villains was the one I said. I played City of Villains. That was like my first MMO before I knew what the fucking MMO was. Um, but I like co-op. I don't play. If I do MMOs, it's PVE stuff. I don't do PvP. I don't like going against players because I get pissed because I get shit at because I suck. So there's that. My next question that I got here is: what is one game you've played that you enjoyed the writing, narrative, and voice actor in the game of the game? Like in the game of it, like the actor in the game. I don't know the voice actor's name. It was Max Payne 1. I really liked the narrative. It was like very poetic, I guess. I don't know. It was very good writing for especially for the time it was out. I really liked the voice actor who did it. I don't remember his name. Somebody will probably tell me at some point in life, but I really liked him. Um, I really liked the writing in that. Like that was before Telltale Games, because I'm going off of what I remember for before things. That was before like the Telltales got as popular as they were. Before, you know, I think this was before. Yeah, this was because when the fuck did Max Payne come out? I want to say it's a little bit before Quantum Dreams did their fucking Indigo Prophecy, and I was like, even then that game wasn't. The writing was interesting, and the narrative and voice actors weren't anything that I liked like too crazy of. So I think Max Payne, when they do the dialogue and like the comic thing or the strip or whatever the hell it is, I like those. I like that a lot. Another, do you? And this is funny because I kind of answered this earlier. Do you feel graphics really make or break a game? Like, are they really that important? To a lot of people, graphics are important. People are very picky about graphics. If the game looks decent enough to me, I'm not that picky. Like, of course, I can play a 2D. I can play a game like Stardew that isn't very graphically anything. It's very just beautiful pixel, like a pixelated game. I don't remember the term, but it's funny. It's just that I don't. I never feel the like as long as it looks decent. It doesn't have to be over the top amazing. It just has to look decent to where like I don't. Uh, as long as plus it's gonna looks. I don't know. Like I don't of course want to play a game that looks like Resident Evil 2 back on the PlayStation like now. Um, like unless I want to play Resident Evil 2, like going back to it. But I do want it to look somewhat decent, whether it looks like a 2007 to now game, maybe. As long as it looks somewhat decent and the gameplay is still pretty good, then I can. So it's like I'm not too picky on it. Like I don't need like everything looking amazing. You know, I don't need every little detail on everything. I'm not a very big graphics guy, like I said. So and I'm not like if the game isn't up to par graphically compared to others, but it's still a fun game, I won't judge. Like I'm not that picky about that stuff. The last question is why does John, aka Basing Fluke, not stream or do YouTube? And then the other part of the question is why does some days he is not in your stream? Well, I hate to break it to you, but it is my streams. It's not John's stream, so that's why he's not in it. I don't mean to be an asshole. It's just I kind of hate that people like come to my stream looking for him. Like I understand if you're worried or wondering what's going on with him, that's fine. What's annoying is somebody coming in and asking for him, and why am I not playing with him? Is just like me coming to your house for your party, for say a birthday party or a house party, and I'm like, well, Terry up the road is having a party, and his house is bigger, and he's got a pool. Um, or if I came to your house because you wanted to hang out with me, and I'm like, well, I thought Terry was going to be here, and I only wanted to hang out with you because Terry was going to be there. It's like you're the third wheel kind of deal, or just somebody coming in to hang because you inviting someone over or someone coming over just because they want to be with someone else when you're right there when it's your place and it was your idea or your thing. So it's kind of annoying if you can understand that like idea behind it. Someday he's a busy guy. The dude's got a job. He's doing college, so of course he's busy. So he's not going to be in every stream. It's also my stream, so whether don't follow or just because you want John all the time. I get that my strengths are having John around because of the jokes we can have, but I'm working on my weakness of solo stuff. I'm trying to get better at being just by myself because John isn't always going to be around, and there are going to be times I want to stream when he's not there because I'm not tailoring my stream to his time. Because then it would be like a very short stream here and a very short stream here. It just wouldn't be fun. And why doesn't he stream or do YouTube? He actually did stream for a while, I think like a month or two. He played through Resident Evil 4 and then the Bioshock series for the first time ever because he's never played 4. The first Resident Evil game he played was 5, and then he never played Bioshock. So he played 4 in Bioshock, had fun with it, but he likes watching other people's perspectives. And maybe in the future, if he ever is on this, I'll ask him this question again so he can give you his input. But I think he likes watching other people's perspectives more than his own, and he likes to play games without having to care about a chat. And then you can be like, well, then YouTube, but he doesn't want to sit there and upload the videos. He doesn't want to just record. Like, it's just not. He doesn't care for that stuff like I do. I actually really like recording. The train's coming by my house. I really like recording and doing stuff to share the experience. I really like doing it. I always just found that fun. Um, but he's not really as into it as me. Heck, even before now, he used to say, "Do we really have to stream?" Because sometimes he just wanted to play a game without the whole streaming/recording part. Now he's just fine with it. It's like whatever, he understands, but at the same time he doesn't. Because now he's like, if something funny happens, we'll have it on record to maybe highlight or record. But now it's just we don't he doesn't care too much, but he doesn't really feel like he wants to do that stuff. He wants to focus on stuff that actually really matters to him, whether it be programming or his job or whatever. So there you go. This actually got to be 50 minutes. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be pretty quick. I thought I was going to get through these a little faster because I'm usually pretty quick and sometimes a little vague with some of my answers. Well, not answers, but like on these topics. I hope I got to cover some of the stuff that you wanted me to cover and or just what I've heard about today or these past few weeks. I hope you enjoyed this 18th edition, May 18th, not the 18th, but May 18th edition of Talk Time. Like I said, this was recorded in the 16th, so it's been like a day, or 2 days or so. So cut me some slack if something was somehow announced between now and the 18th. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. The support that goes into this makes me do another one. And if not that much support happens, I may still do it. I kind of just tend to do it regardless of support if I feel like I have something I want to talk about. Again, you got questions, you can ask me. I usually keep it all anonymous because I don't feel like giving out people's names. I like to keep it anonymous unless unless said otherwise. I want to show somebody's name because I might find it funny or just I don't know. Most of the time it's just anonymous stuff. If you want to send me the questions, say comments. I usually get emails. I don't really do the emails thing. I usually get questions. Sometimes the questions are also from John. That's where some of these come from to help me. But that some people DM me questions. Some people send me through Twitch messages, on Twitter, etc., etc. So feel free to do that. And if there's anything in specific, whether it be a game or learning more about me that you want to hear during the talk time, let me know in the comments, on Twitter, anything, and I will get around to it in hopefully the next talk time. Whether this next talk time will be at the end of this month and or in the start of next month or somewhere mid-month of next month. I don't know when these get recorded because I don't think that far ahead, and I need to have things to talk about before I actually do. So once I get a good enough amount of stuff I want to talk about, is when I will, do it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been your host, TripleTDog. I hope you enjoyed Talk Time number 3. Slowly getting in the flow of these things. I'm trying not to rush the topics, trying to give my opinion a little more openly, and I'm trying. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whether it be a talk time or a, whatever fucking pre-recorded thing I've had. Anyway, thank you so much. See you guys later.